how Shedeur Sanders apparently has changed everything. Shedeur Sanders just needs, Deshaun Watson rather, needs to be named QB1 right now. 3 days of non-helmeted, I think they had helmets on, but shorts practice with none of the rookies, just a group of people barely learning the offense. Deshaun Watson is gonna, it's over. It's over. It's Deshaun Watson's team. That's what Mary Kay Cabot said.
The Browns wanted this quarterback race to be simple. Deshaun Watson was supposed to return, look sharp, take the QB1 spot, and let everyone else fall behind him. But then, Shedeur Sanders got real practice time, and suddenly the same people who were ready to hand Watson the job had to admit the gap was closing. Now Cleveland has a problem it did not expect, because Shedeur did not ruin the Browns' quarterback plan by talking too much. He ruined it by making the competition real.
Same woman who said, by the way, Deshaun Watson just needs to start. She says, Shedeur Sanders has made up significant ground in the Browns quarterback race, and it is neck to neck with Deshaun Watson.
The first part of this story is Cleveland's messy quarterback history. This team has lived through the same cycle for years. A new quarterback comes in, people hope he is finally the answer, then the plan falls apart and the Browns start searching again. So when Deshaun Watson started getting early praise, some people wanted to end the race before it even became real. Mary Kay Cabot was already talking like Watson should be named QB1 after only a few early practices. That is where the problem started. Those practices were not full games. They were not full contact battles. They were not enough to judge the whole quarterback room. Shedeur had not even been given enough time in the offense yet, but people were already acting like the answer was obvious. Then mandatory minicamp changed the story. Suddenly, Shedeur was not just a fifth-round rookie standing in the background. The report became that he had made up serious ground and was now neck and neck with Watson. That was the first real turning point, because the Browns may have wanted a clean Watson QB1 story, but Shedeur's progress made that impossible. And that is why the title fits. Shedeur did not ruin the plan in a bad way, he ruined the easy version. He ruined the idea that Watson could walk back in and own the job just because of his contract, name, or past reputation. Once Shedeur got on the field and started showing progress, the conversation had to change. At first, people who said the media should wait before judging Shedeur were called delusional. They were treated like fans who were just protecting him. But now, the same media that rushed to crown Watson had to admit Shedeur closed the gap. That is what makes this story so strong. Shedeur did not force this conversation with noise, he forced it with practice.
Hey, Mary Kay, that was only 3 practices. At least let him practice, and then you could declare. If Mary Kay, if you came out right now and said Deshaun Watson needs to be QB1, nobody even has a problem with that. I don't think, right? Because at least you saw a full training camp.
This is where the speaker says the real theme out loud. Shedeur Sanders has changed everything. And honestly, it should not be that shocking. People knew Shedeur had talent. They knew he had confidence. They knew he could throw the football. The only real question was whether Cleveland would give him enough time to show it. Then Terry Pluto's point makes the story even bigger. He says the reason the Browns haven't named a starting quarterback yet may be because of how Shedeur has progressed. That's a big statement, because if Watson was clearly ahead, there would be nothing to wait for. If the Browns already knew their answer, this competition would still feel open. But Shedeur has made the team slow down. He has made the media change its tone. He has made people ask whether this is still Watson's job or whether the young quarterback is slowly taking it from him. That is how you know he has disrupted the original plan. The Browns may have expected Watson to look like the clear starter, while the young quarterbacks developed quietly behind him. But once Shedeur started moving up, the whole room became more complicated. And that brings up the other part of the Browns' quarterback mess. If Shedeur is already in the building, already learning the offense, already improving and already pushing Watson, then why would Cleveland need to chase another project quarterback? That kind of move only makes the plan look even more confusing. If a new quarterback comes in late, he is already behind. He has missed minicamp, he has missed early installs, he doesn't know the calls, he doesn't have timing with the receivers, he hasn't built trust with the coaches. So while the Browns are looking at outside ideas, Shedeur is already there, already growing, and already making the race uncomfortable.
If the Browns get him, guess what happens next? He has to sit This is going to be a redshirt year for him. No matter what, it doesn't matter. He's already missed minicamp. He's already missed everything. He's not going to be ready for training camp. He doesn't know anything of the offense. So this year is going to be a wash.
This is where the conversation moves away from media drama and becomes simple football logic. Why would the Browns waste time on another long-term project when Shedeur is already on the roster and already gaining ground? That is another way he ruined the plan. He made the other quarterback options look less clean. For years, Browns fans have watched this team chase quarterbacks instead of developing the right one. Every time there is a new name, Cleveland gets pulled into another cycle. But when Shedeur starts showing real promise, fans do not want the team to ignore it and start looking somewhere else again. They want the Browns to actually let the competition speak. That does not mean Shedeur has already won the job. It does not mean he is already the franchise quarterback, but it does mean he has earned a serious look. And once a young quarterback earns that, the team cannot keep acting like nothing has changed. That is why Hanford Dixon's voice matters in this story. This is not just a random fan online saying Shedeur should play. Hanford is a respected Browns name. He understands this city, this fan base, and what winning football is supposed to look like. So when he says he wants to see Shedeur get a real chance, that carries weight. Hanford also points out the truth about Deshaun Watson. Cleveland keeps waiting for the Houston version of Watson, but the Browns haven't really seen that guy. The name is still big, the contract is still big, but the performance has not looked like the player Cleveland thought it was getting. That is why the door is open for Shedeur in the first place.
One thing you can say, this kid, like you said, this kid's young, he's talented. Deshaun, here's the thing about Deshaun. Guys, we have been looking for the same guy that we thought we were going to get. We talked about the quarterback that he was when he was with Houston, and we just haven't seen that. Sure, I like the way he handled himself. He finally had a chance to, he finally came out and he talked to the press. Okay, some of the things that he said, I like what he was saying, but still.
Hanford is not praising Shedeur just because of hype. He's looking at the Browns' young weapons and seeing a possible fit. Cleveland has receivers with speed. They have younger players who can grow. They have an offense that could use fresh energy. And with Todd Monken's system, Hanford wants to see what Shedeur can do with those pieces around him. That is what makes Shedeur dangerous to the original plan. He gives the Browns a reason to stop waiting on the past. Watson's best football came years ago. Shedeur represents something different. He represents growth, development, and a chance to build the offense forward instead of trying to force an old idea to work again. And when a Browns legend says he wants to see Shedeur with these weapons, the conversation changes. It's not just fans wanting excitement anymore. It becomes a real football question. Can Shedeur grow with this group? Can he bring life to the offense? Can he become the quarterback Cleveland did not expect to push this hard? That's the part the Browns have to take seriously. If Shedeur is improving and respected people around the team are saying he deserves a look, then Cleveland cannot just hide behind Deshaun Watson's name. They have to judge what's actually happening on the field.
But some of the young wide receivers, I think we got Concepcion, who I think is going to be a fine wide receiver. We got Bond, who, I mean, you can't teach speed. I mean, this kid is really coming on. I think Boston, is that the other kid
He's
right
the
there?
Big guy. He's big, Hanford. He's catching everything.
Yeah, we have some guys right now, and I think we have some weapons on that offense, and I want to see Shedeur get a chance to play with these guys, with Todd's offense.
This is where Hanford's support connects to the bigger point. Shedeur is not being praised over other players just because he is famous. He is being praised because people see a quarterback who might fit where the Browns are trying to go. Cleveland has young offensive pieces. Those players need timing, trust, and a quarterback who can grow with them. And if Watson is still trying to prove he can return to his old form, then Shedeur becomes more interesting every day. Not because he is perfect, but because he gives the Browns something Watson has not given them in a while: new energy and a new direction. That is why the plan feels broken now. The Browns may have expected Watson to take control while the rookies waited behind him, but Shedeur is not staying quiet in the race. He's forcing the team to treat this like a real competition. And that is why the question says everything. Is Deshaun Watson letting this job slip away, or is Shedeur Sanders taking it from him? That one line explains the whole story. At first, this was supposed to be about Watson proving he was still QB1. Now it is about Shedeur making sure the Browns cannot ignore him. Is Deshaun Watson letting this job slip away, or is Shedeur Sanders taking it from him? Mary Kay answers that Shedeur may not be taking it yet, but he is clearly making it a competition. That answer matters because it shows how far the story has moved. She's not saying Shedeur has already won, but she is saying this is no longer a fake battle. It is real. That is why this clip works so well as the opening point of the story. Watson was supposed to be ahead. The Browns were supposed to have a clean path, but Shedeur has now forced a real battle. And once that happens, the original plan is already damaged.
Is Deshaun Watson letting this job slip away, or is Shedeur Sanders taking it from him?
Well, I don't know if he's taking it from him, but he's making it a competition, Shedeur is. And I think that's good. I think that's good for both guys. Competition brings out the best in everyone.
And this is where the Browns have to be careful. If Watson wins the job clearly, then fine. Let the field prove it. But if Shedeur keeps closing the gap, keeps improving, and keeps earning praise from people who know the team, then Cleveland cannot pretend this is still the same quarterback plan they had before minicamp. The Browns wanted answers. Shedeur gave them a harder question. Are they going to follow the old plan because it feels safer, or are they going to admit that Shedeur Sanders may have changed everything? Because once a young quarterback turns a quiet depth chart spot into a real QB battle, he has already shaken the original plan. And if this keeps going, the Browns may have no choice but to stop asking whether Shedeur belongs in the conversation and start asking whether he is becoming the conversation. That is the real problem for Cleveland. Shedeur did not need to be perfect to change the race. He only needed to be good enough to make people doubt the plan. And right now, that is exactly what he has done. So the Browns can try to keep selling the old story, but the field is already telling a different one. Watson was supposed to make the decision easy. Shedeur made it uncomfortable. And in Cleveland, that may be the first sign that the quarterback plan everyone expected is already falling apart.